Hello, I'm Michael Gfroerer. I'm a piano teacher, music theory teacher, and music creation teacher. I teach all ages. I'm also a composer. I've had good reviews in national Canadian newspapers, and I've received an award for my compositions by promoting human rights through music. I'm here today to show you my book, which I completed a couple of months ago. I've been working on it for about 4 years or more. And it's called A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Learn to Play Piano Quickly with Colors. So, some people will ask, why did you create this book when there's already a lot of other books on the market which are quite successful? Well, the reason why I started writing this book is because I found that the notation system is actually quite antiquated, and I'm trying to keep up with the modern age by adding colors to the notes so that students will be interested. One of the features of my book is a coil ring, which means that it'll last possibly for several students. Some of the other books will use a staple which sometimes falls off at the first lesson. You'll notice that this is the cover of my book. So what I've done was I've used all of the pages wisely. This book, you'll notice that the music alphabet is introduced on page 18. Another thing about this book you'll notice is that there are 17 books for level 1A. So that adds up to a bit of music. These books go for about $10 each, but if you're buying 17, that works out to be about $170. One of the other features of my book is that I've worked on some graphic design, and you can see that I've left a lot of the page blank, which students seem to love. This is one of my favorite pages, and it introduces the clefs. This is on page 15. So you'll see that what we call the treble clef comes from a G. So it's called a G clef, and I simply put a right hand because usually we use right hand for the G clef. You'll notice that the bass clef comes from an F, and it's for left hand. So I won't get into the notation system right now, but I'd like to move on. I want to show you the first page that I did. This is called Musette. I arranged this because I wanted to indicate how the colored notation system can really help students. So what you'll notice is that we have the G clef, the F clef, and the color system is consistent. So C is black, G is red. So we come to this section, we have both clefs E, F, G, F, E, D, G, E, C. So one of the features of my book is that it teaches music theory without us even knowing. So I used a color system which teaches us basic music theory. So in C major, for example, I used black for C because C is the most common note. G, which is sometimes called the dominant of C major, is red. So primary colors. Before G is F, which is called the subdominant. I use D as green because usually we tend to go between C and E, so I used green, meaning go. A is what I call a cautionary orange, the beginning of the music alphabet. B is a purple or lavender. And E is yellow because I wanted to basically have a nice color combination for a C major chord. So black, yellow, red. Now, one of the features of my book is that we get these colors, which a friend of mine in Edmonton created. So we have 7 of each. They come off fairly easy, and they go on the piano keys. So I just did 2 octaves, and I indicated middle C with 2 black stickers. What I sometimes do is I will just start with 1 blue sticker on what I call special F to learn the F clef, and I'll put just 1 sticker on what I call special G to learn G clef. Another feature of my book is creativity. One of the things I find about the lesson books and the Royal Conservatory books is it's very difficult for students to remember all the details. So I introduce everything very slowly, and I've run this book through over 200 students. I've listened to what they had suggested, and I've added a lot of material to help them learn. So with this exercise, page 2 and 3, children learn left from right. And not only do they learn left from right, they can also learn the keyboard. So with this exercise, which I explain in one of the later videos, the students can create music. So very simply, they can start with D in the right hand and D in the left hand and play the exercise. And it's really a lot of fun, and you can even get very creative and start to create music. Some of the other books start with black keys, and I decided that it's best just to jump right in and start with the white keys because they tend to be easier to learn. So with the middle C position, we put both thumbs on middle C, and it shows us why we have 2 clefs. So with this position, we put both thumbs on middle C. 5 will be on the special F. Both thumbs will be on middle C. And right hand 5 will be on the special G. So with my book, I've written the music to teach children and adults, if they're interested, in how to learn to read music. So you see I've made the G clef red, which shows you the G is red on the keyboard. I call special G. You'll notice that I kept it very simple, removed all the pictures, unnecessary writing, which tends to get cluttered, and students I found were not even reading what is necessary, so I've left out things which I felt are unnecessary. So when I wrote this piece of music, you'll see that I'm basically trying to isolate the G and middle C, focusing on the G, and we even get a broken C chord. So I'll just play it for you. So you can see how writing the music correctly and efficiently and wisely can help students to learn quickly. I wanted to show you the F clef. So with the F clef, just going to go back 1 page. You see I've removed all the unnecessary writing. F is blue, so we're focusing on special F, the first F below middle C. One of the other problems with the other books is it seems that they forget that the student has a teacher. So they're trying to teach the student everything, and the teacher is basically just left to read text. However, as you can imagine, it's necessary for a student to have a teacher. So I'm just going to show you this piece. You see, with this one, I'm focusing on the F. So I actually made it in F major, if you give it a listen. So focusing on the F. So in some cases, I made it a bit challenging to get the students reading. So with my book, what I added, which some books are lacking, is a table of contents. I found that a table of contents can really help people decide if they want to buy the book and how to find the music if they don't know the page number. So what I've done is I've grouped the table of contents into sections. So the first 6 pages are the basics. We get into some playing without reading. We get into the clefs and the staff. We get into C position for right hand, C position for left hand. Then we get into middle C position, C position for both hands. Over here, we get into scales and music theory. With my good friend Pierrot, we get into the concept of structure, question and answer. I decided to introduce flats before sharps, F major. Tic-tac-toe is a coordination exercise. There's several throughout the book. And we end with G major. I just wanted to show a couple of examples from the book. This is one of the favorites, and it seems like it might be really difficult, but with the colored notes you can see that it is actually quite possible, and I have a lot of children who are playing this with ease. So you see what we have are 3-note chords or triads. Here we have solid, here we have the same thing broken. And children are getting through this quite easily. I'll just play it. I even added the Roman numerals for music analysis, wrote the names of the notes. Then we have broken. I'm just trying to play this around the tripod. A, C, G, B, D. And kids really love this exercise. The next one is a favorite of several students. I'm going to have to move the tripod back. And we just see this is an expansion on the previous page. We have the 1 chord, the 4 chord, or F major, G major, or 5 chord. And we introduce the concept of first and second ending. So I'm just going to play a couple of bars. And I have a couple videos of students playing this on YouTube. Comes the A minor, first ending. Da capo, go back to the beginning. I'm going to end there. I want to explain a couple more pages. So page 60, I introduce word association to learn rhythm. So walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. So I I wrote this music and the words, and it somewhat encourages students to do things which are necessary, such as walk to school. This is a finger exercise that students tend to enjoy, and what I do with this is students play the first bar 4 times. I got this idea from Hannon. Many teachers might know of Hannon. And the right hand is actually quite easy, but you see this is not uncommon for piano to have such a simple melody. I actually got the idea for this piece from a colleague of mine, Anne Southam, very respected Canadian composer who's passed away. She wrote a series of pieces for piano called Glass Houses, and this is something of a tribute to her. So that is the book. I'm expanding the book. I have about 10 pages for a new book. One of the last things is 2 review pages, very neatly set up, what needs to be known. And I'm very pleased to have a barcode and to have this book in the Library of Congress. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.